But these things are not easy to find. Till recently, maybe 2 years ago, I used to get this from Los Angeles. My sister would send me periodically because it was so dear to me to use fresh turmeric. Then this one is curry patta. Curry patta is also giving you flavor, but it is good for joint pains or arthritic conditions and things like that. Now, if you eat South Indian and Western Indian food, you will invariably have these every day. Every meal you will have curry patta in your dal or in your sabjis, the vegetables and things like that. And it has a nice, really flavor that is very unique. And I think the botanical name is Muraya oningi. So I want you to just get familiar with some of these very key element here. Then this is a piece of ginger. Now, ginger is also dry ginger powder or fresh. Ayurveda dictates when it should be used, the fresh, and when the dry powder. So there's very, very precise approach to the science of self-healing. We will get into the details, yes.
How do you spell that other one?
Curry patta. Curry means C-U-R-R-Y. Patta is P is in Peter, A, T,
C-U-R-I-Y?
C-U-R-R-y,
Oh,
yes.
curry.
Curry.
Yes.
Okay. And patta is P is in Peter's, A-T-T-A.
Okay.
Patta means leaves.
Okay.
So, and ginger everybody knows, I guess. But there are different kinds of ginger. Now, the one to give more reverence is baby ginger, which is more pink and if you find something in the market, grab it, because it's very difficult to find baby ginger, which has no fibers and it's easy to kind of integrate in your food. You can just even, the first thing in the morning people do is to revamp your appetite, because having good appetite is very much revered in Ayurveda. That means you are very healthy if you are hungry. In this country, everybody is hungry. So that means that their pitta is very high and it's good. So, but sometimes Vata people, they have difficulty, getting hungry. They take their lunch with them and they forget to eat. They should eat a little bit of ginger in the morning. Maybe like if you are having your breakfast or lunch, half an hour before that, just take a piece of ginger and scrape off the skin and just chew it. The juice will give you appetite, good appetite, and also digest what you eat. So anyway, this is ginger is very, very important. Then I found some taro roots. They are like alternate to potatoes, but they are easy to digest. You can just throw it in boiling water and cook it for, half an hour or 40 minutes, and then remove the skin, and then you can put some spices, and it's excellent. Now, when you, I'm going to leave this one for my, this thing, so I'm going to keep this here. Now, talking about the cumin, I'm going to show you what happens when you are having just cumin raw versus when you are roasting it. And I need.
Initially, if you do not know spices, which I certainly did not know, although I grew up in India, it's very intimidating because you don't have no idea, have no feel. And Indian food uses all these different spices, and you just say, you cannot do it. It's too difficult. The first thing is to admit that you're going to make mistakes, and don't let that not bother you from trying. Secondly, is that once you learn to work with some basics, it's actually quite a lot of fun, because spices talk to you. And you can just develop a language to speak with them and get comfortable. And if you make a mistake, don't get bothered. Just move on. But once you overcome the psychological barrier, it's really a lot of fun to cook. And it gives you the ability to improvise and extend the Ayurvedic principles to other cuisine. So Ayurveda is very broad, it's very general, it's not just applicable to Indian food. But if you take any other kind of food, Mexican food, Italian food, Japanese food, hamburgers, those of you can make it Ayurvedic just by knowing the basic principles and your constitution, what goes with you and what does not go with you. So my appeal to you is that as Indra is teaching to just saying that this will open up a tremendous bag of tools for you once you learn some basics, and you can experiment with all sorts of things. It's a lot of fun.
Okay, any questions so far? Okay, so I'm going to show you now. This stuff is getting nice and hot. So let me pass this along, and you just kind of smell the raw cumin seeds. Sometimes, when you want to get some flavor out, you just rub it between your palms, and the oils kind of infuse the spices. But we are going to do something much better for that. Okay. Just smell this, just raw cumin seeds, because they are so precious. You will see invariably all the food that you eat except sweets will have cumin in it. All the salty stuff, like some of the mixtures that you buy, the curry powders and all kinds of packages like this in the store, you will see, you get really confused. But some of my favorite, I have brought this, and we'll talk about it when we have a little window. But just to show you what it does, because sometimes you deep fry, like I will be showing you some of the spices when you are infusing the oil or the ghee or whatever you are using. So you are throwing the spices in it, and it just permeates all over the cooking medium. Then you add the rice or curry or the vegetables. The idea is to really integrate the spices in a way that it is balancing the Vata Pitta Kapha. The idea is, I have a chart here that we will share in the future classes. Ayurveda is still having hard, I tell you. People say, I cannot eat this, I cannot eat that, and I get totally confused. Okay, there are certain foods, they are called tri-doshic. Means 3 doshas, the Vata, Pitta, Kapha. Because we are all born with the imbalance. So we have to balance it with our lifestyle, what we eat, how we do things in these 5 functions that we have. So when you are doing some of these things, people get so confused. I have lots of students, they read all kinds of things and they totally feel that I don't get it. So I said, you start with something that everybody can eat. So there's a spiritualist who just came up with a few books. Her name is Maya Tiwari. She has a tri-doshic chart. There are certain things everybody can eat. So start with those things, and then you get acquainted about the Ayurvedic approach to your particular constitution, or how you can really benefit. So anyway, I'm going to have a little bit of cumin seeds here, maybe like a teaspoon here, because I'll be using that for my raita, and see what happens. The skillet is nice and hot, so I'm just going to roast it.
The great aroma that comes when the cumin is roasting. We would like you to come here and just smell it.
I'm going to show you, we need to wash it now. Anyway, so what we can do is crush it, and I have a holding pen here. We can just wash it, and because it's like my tool that I wanted to show you, but it fell down. Anyway, so let's see. I'm going to have some. What can I use? Oh, this is fine. I don't want it to get plastic. Mind well, now I am having portable kitchen here, so